Am I audible to everybody? Hello? Okay, I am. Okay, so let's begin. Welcome you all for joining us on our second day of the event Aspire, Inspire, Grow. Today we are going to talk about a very crucial yet something that needs to be enlightened, that something needs to be spoken about. So I have written few lines which I would like to say. And just as the phoenix rose from the ashes, she too will rise, returning from the flames, clothed in nothing but her strength, more beautiful than ever before. Maybe it's not always about trying to fix something broken. Maybe it's about starting over and creating something better. Meet our powerful speaker, Rosie Bonita Fernandez, smashing down the myths, the judgments, the criticism that woman has to go through divorce. Rosie, welcome you on our show.
Hi Ritika, thank you so much for inviting me on your show. And I really wanted to say that I have never heard an introduction like this. It's really, really amazing. And I was surprised when you actually sent me this as well. Thank you so much.
I'm delighted to have you on show, and I think without any further ado, we'll start the interview. We'll start the questions, and let's get going with it. You ready? All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, sure.
So, firstly, I wanted to ask you, how comfortable are you talking about divorce?
I don't think I am uncomfortable about it because I have already done one show with SYWK with Desmond Fernandez. That was my first podcast, which I did. And after I did that show, I got a lot of love and support from a lot of people, and which actually made me feel really good about myself. Uh, See, divorce is not something which is, it's not like a sickness, or it's not something what people should be ashamed of. I
Yes.
think divorce is normal. Yes, it is not beautiful, but it is normal. And I think people should normalize this entire process, only because you need to know and understand what divorce is actually. And answering your question, I think that if you would have asked me this question maybe a couple of months ago, then yes, I wouldn't have agreed to it. In fact, even when I spoke to anyone, or when I was in office, or when I was in public places, I used to lower my tone, when I used to say the word divorce. So I used to literally whisper it. I don't do it anymore because I'm not ashamed of it. So I think, yeah, I mean, I think I'm fine with that.
That's great. Hello, can you hear me? Am I audible?
I think the network is slightly cracking.
Yes. All right. So that's a great approach towards divorce. Let us move on to our next question, the important one. What is life after divorce? Rosie, shall I?
Hello?
My question, I think I lost you in between.
Yes, yes, I got disconnected. I'm sorry about that.
That's all right. So the main important question, life after divorce. How did it go?
Life after divorce has been a mixed bag, which I carried for quite some time. And it has not been easy. I did have major episodes of depression. I went through, I think I gave my all, whatever I had. only because of realizing that I do not have my marriage anymore. And there are many aspects which I don't know if many people know, but yes, life after divorce, like I said, has not been easy on me. And I did think, a lot. I mean, I was even overthinking, not only thinking, like, because I think we all of us, I mean, many of us overthink a lot. And I did that. And because of that, I went into depression. I had suicidal thoughts. I was horrible. I was in a very bad
Is
state.
basically after divorce, is what you're saying. This is what happened after your divorce came through. The
That's
suicidal thoughts, overthinking, the depression creeped in.
That's right. That's right. So, I mean, see, it takes a lot to accept. I think the most important thing we all as human beings need to understand and realize is that acceptance is very important in our life.
Absolutely.
And the day or the time we accept, okay, this is what has happened with us, then I think, the rest of the road ahead is much better. It is not easy, but it gets better. It gets, what you have to do. And like for me, I have a very supportive family. And I have very supportive friends as well, who are like my family. So I think with the help of that, and also with the faith what I have in God, which has
Which is
always kept me going and which will always keep me going. I think that is something which is very important when you're going through these kind of crises. And my faith in God has actually kept me, or I have survived so long, along with the support of my family and my friends.
so that's really good. What I liked is, yes, like you truly said, acceptance is very important, be it a divorce, be it anything. Once you accept things the way it is, once you come to peace with it, I think it becomes much more easier for us to deal with a lot of things. Rightly said, Rosie. My next question to you is, what were your fears about divorce?
Well, my biggest fear was, how would I handle, loneliness? Because loneliness is something which not everybody can handle, and especially not me. Because, I was for a very long time with a partner, and now all of a sudden that I don't have someone, or I was coming to a realization that I'm not going to have somebody by my side, really broke me down. In fact, even if I think about it today, I still get teary about it, because it takes a lot of courage, firstly, to even take this decision. It is not something I think weak people can do. I think this is
Absolutely.
for something who is really strong in their mind.
I absolutely believe in that.
Ritika, I think people need to really be very strong in their mind to make this decision, because it is your choice. And once you have made that choice, I think you need to stand by it, and that is very important. So yes, I had many fears. So one of my fears also turned into reality is when I actually lost my job. And I was not I was you need to also be financially independent.
And then, right.
So when I lost my job, my whole world crashed at that time. I remember that day when I got to know that I have lost my job. I came home, and I had my brother with me that day. So I remember that I cried with him, and he's my younger brother. But he gave me a lot of support that day. And he kept telling me, if one door closes, there are many which will open. There are few days of my phase which I will not forget, and this is one of them. And at that time, when I lost my job, I also understood the power of letting go, because I was holding on to that job, and I thought that that is what I have, and I can go on with it. But I did not even have that at that moment. So that is when I actually learned how to let go of things, because when you really like something, or when it's, there's a very famous saying and everybody knows this, that when you really love something or like something and you're not getting it, you should let it go. And trust me, the universe has its own ways of giving it back to you. Today I'm in a much happier place, in a much better job, and I really thank for whatever has happened in my past, because it only shapes you and makes you a better person to where you are. So yeah, that was my fear, which turned into reality. Loneliness, losing my job. And I prayed, I did everything possible. I still stood strong. I didn't take my decision of pulling back my divorce. I said, no, whatever this is,
Nice.
I will survive, and I will go ahead with this, because I know that God is with me, and of course my family is
Yes,
always with
truly
me.
said. And I think eventually it's all about the strength. And we as women, we are made with that kind of strength. So I think that is really important. That's commendable, like how you actually thought and you never took a decision and you never looked back. So that's really uh, for question. Can everybody please be on mute? Thank you. So my next question to you is, what are the biggest challenges you faced while you were divorced?
Sorry, I didn't get your question.
What are the biggest challenges you faced while you were getting the divorce, while the ongoing process?
Uh, I think the biggest challenge I faced, was entering the courtroom, because it I was shivering the first day when I reached the court. I've never been to a court before, and I don't think it's something usual for my family, or I don't think any of my family members also must have been. But the day I reached the court, I was literally shivering. So that was the biggest challenge I faced, because that is not something easy. And as a Catholic, we need to go through two different processes. One is divorce and one is the church annulment. So I had to go through the same process twice, though they are different in their own ways. But it was the biggest challenge I overcame, and I would never wish for anybody to go through this kind of you know a process or anything, because it is really traumatic. And overcoming that, also, I came home and I used to break down, I used to cry, and I used to just I didn't know what I was doing. I was so lost. And of course, I had my mother with me at that time. And, sometimes you have to remain strong. You have to be strong in front of your parents. You have
Right.
to show them that, you are not that weak, so that they don't break down. And I think that is what I was doing, because obviously, as a daughter, I didn't want to hurt my parents. I didn't wanted to see them. I didn't wanted to show them that how miserable I am. Uh, Saying that, yes, like I said, I think the courtroom was the biggest challenge which I faced, and somehow, with a lot of strength and with God's grace, I actually overcame it.
Wow, that's really that's really inspiring. All right. Moving on to our next question. How did you feel in the courtroom or on the day divorce was declared? What was that moment? How did you feel about the entire thing that you fought for with complete courage and strength? So how did you feel about it in that particular moment?
Okay, firstly, like I just said sometime back, when I was entering the courtroom, how you feel when you go for a funeral. You know that you are not going to have that person back in your life. That is the exact same feeling I had. That is the exact, I felt like I'm walking into a funeral, because when I went to the courtroom, first of all, it is not a good place to be. There are pregnant women. There are, so many couples. You'll see some couples crying, some couples fighting, some couples are whatever. It must be a mutual divorce as well. But what actually, took my attention was there was a lady who was pregnant and also had a child, with her. So looking at her, I started crying. I was like, why is this thing happening with her? So, uh, I think, like for example, when you go for a funeral, and you know that when you enter, that is the last time you have that particular person, or you have that thing. So for me, it was the last time I had that relationship, and when I walked out of the courtroom, I did not have that relationship. So it is the same feeling you get when you lose a loved one. It is exactly the same feeling. A heartbreak is equivalent to death. Like, when your heart breaks, it is as equal, or it just like death. Like, when you experience somebody who's dying. So I think that is a very strong emotion. Heartbreak is not something which is, it can either destroy you, or it can, make you come up. So it is your choice, in what you want that, what you want that to happen to you, whether you can let it destroy you, or you can overcome it. It's totally your choice. Okay, so coming back to your question, on the day I got divorced, I had a complete emotional shutdown. I didn't speak to anyone. I was in Bombay that day, and I just went to a mall, and it was exactly like a movie scene, where I'm standing and there are people just walking fast. They show this in the movie, and I'm looking at the mall. Like, I can't understand what when people were talking.
Rosie, you are on mute. Rosie, just 1 second. You went on mute. Yes.
Okay. So I couldn't process anything that day because I was on an emotional shutdown. I just shut down. My body automatically shut down. I didn't do it on purpose. It just happened. And of course, I was getting messages and calls from my family to find out if I was okay. Now, obviously, it is an immediate reply like, yeah, yeah, I'm okay, I'm fine. But honestly, I was not fine at all, because it is, like I said, it is like a death. So to let that process, it did take a lot of time. I took one whole day, in fact, where I just went into a room and I shut the room. I didn't let anyone in, and I was alone. I didn't speak to anyone, and I that day, all what I did was I cried. I cried my heart out. I cried loudly. So I know that there was nobody listening to me. So I just cried, and I let everything just flow through. I let everything just come out, because it was there within me, and I just let things process at that time. So that is one of the days also which, I don't think I will ever forget in my life, no matter where I reach or what I do next. So I think that is one of my most important, just like how I remember my the day I got married. Similarly, I remember the day I got divorced. So it is, I mean, obviously they are interconnected. So uh,
Absolutely.
it was very painful as well.
Totally. And I think crying in itself is very healing. When you actually howl and you cry, I think it's a release, it is that release. And I don't know,
Yes,
I
I
uh, crying is for the stronger people, because you are not suppressing your emotions. You're feeling every inch of that moment. And I think that's
Yes,
really.
I think
I think I lost you, Rosie.
yeah, I think grieving process is something which you just have to let it pass by. You just have to sit and do nothing about it. See,
Yes.
you don't have to act on everything. When something is thrown at you, just sit, let it come, let it go. This at
Yes.
the same speed it comes, at the same speed it is going to go. You don't have to do anything. Just experience that process. Because see, healing is not something, or recovery is not an it's not, what can I say, it's a very messy affair. you it's not a beautiful thing at all. It's really, but it makes you beautiful. The moment you recover, the moment you heal, it is something very good. And I think it is much better on the other side, because now I'm on the other side. That's why I can say. And even now, Ritika, even now when I'm driving, or when I'm alone, I cry. I just cry. I let things out. There's no one around me. I don't even discuss this with anybody, because I'm always known as the stronger one. But I think sometimes the stronger one also needs some
Absolutely.
kind of love, care, acceptance. And yeah, so I know that it is absolutely okay to cry. And I think all your listeners also, I would like to tell you all that if you want to cry, be it your divorce or be it anything, any
And
other situation, because we as women have a lot on our back. We carry a lot. Okay. And mostly we are always living in the guilt of, or maybe I have done it, or I am wrong, or I am responsible for it. It is a society thing that women are blamed for all these things. But it's fine. If whoever wants to blame you, let them blame you. You know very well what you have done. You know that you're not wrong. And if that is what matters, I think what you think is what matters, not what the others think. And that is what is very important for us, to know that our thoughts is only thing what should matter.
absolutely, that was so inspiring, Rosie. I mean, yeah, I totally get it. I totally get it. Moving on to our next question. Um, Financial impact when getting divorced. What was that? The financial impact.
Financial impact is huge. I'm very lucky that I'm a working woman, which is why I didn't have a major financial impact. But I have known other friends. I have known other people who are single mothers, and who have gone through this kind of process, and they are not in a very good shape. Which is why I feel every woman needs to be independent. Okay. And we need to begin this with our kids.
Yes,
When daughters are growing up, we need to teach them. We don't have to teach them, when you get married, you have to sorry, when you grow up, you need to get married and you have to go. Why don't you learn to make some chapatis, or why don't you learn to cook? I think that is, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say anything much about that, but I think every
better you don't.
mother I think every mother out here uh, should teach their child that especially a girl child, how to be emotionally and financially independent. Because
Yes,
if you're emotionally and financially independent, all you require is yourself to survive in this world. Because
absolutely.
this world is not going to give you what you want. It is going to
Yes,
snatch away things when you want it the most. And when you are independent yourself, and when you can survive, you know just with what you have emotionally and financially, both, and both are important. It's not that you are even though, like, for example, even though maybe you're in a very good financial status, you have your husband is doing very well, or your partner is doing very well. I still feel women need to find a passion, or find some kind of you know job or work or whatever they can do. Firstly, it's going to keep you busy. Okay. And you will be financially independent, and also emotionally you will be invested in your business or work or whatever. Don't It's not necessary you have to work only for money. You have to also work to gain that experience, and tomorrow, if anything happens, god forbid anything goes wrong, you have your backup ready. By
right.
this, I'm not, by saying this, I'm not trying to say that all those, I mean, I'm not pushing people towards divorce, but what I'm trying to say is that
It's the reality.
please,
You're
yes,
giving us reality vibes about it.
yeah, so please, train your daughters to from a very very young age, how to be emotionally and financially independent. Let them work. If they want to do a particular job which is making them happy, let them do it. I'm really grateful to my parents here because they allowed me to do what I wanted to do, whether I wanted to do a particular course, I wanted to take up a job, I wanted to move abroad, whatsoever it is. Even this show, for example, they have always been supportive. So I think all of you all need to train your daughter that this is what you need to do, and that is where we lay the foundation. And when they grow bigger, I think things are going to be fine.
Absolutely. And I feel when you have daughters, I think it is very important also to let them make mistakes. It's
Right.
very important to not be that protective parent, because I'm a mother, I have a daughter too. So I always strongly believe that it's all right if my daughter is making a mistake, because mistakes is what you're going to learn from. So it is very, very essential, and you shouldn't be defined by a mistake. Life is about mistakes. We all are humans. Humans are about making mistakes, and I think that is very essential, that we should inculcate these kind of thought processes in our kids, be it a daughter, be it a son. It's
Son,
equally
yeah.
equally.
Actually, it's equal, yeah.
And I strongly personally feel that when you have a boy, when you have a son, I think your responsibility as a mother is 10,000 times uh, stronger than what it would be for a daughter, because that's how the man, the first woman that the guy is going to see is the mother. So the picture that you portray of a
Yes.
woman in front of your son is very, very, very important. I strongly believe in that,
Yes.
rightly said. Moving on to our next question, Rosie. Physical and mental effect after divorce. So did you face?
Physically, yes, I did. I did. Physically, I think I started putting on a lot of weight, and I put on what I was already. It's not that I was lightweight or something. I put on more. I started eating and drinking anything and everything which came my way. I started stress eating, and I had no control over my, eating habits, or even for that matter, drinking habits. I also turned to alcohol at some point of time, wherein I thought that maybe I'll just have a few drinks and I'm going to be fine. But that was only for that moment. It is not a lifelong thing. And emotionally, it was a huge impact. I also started taking therapy lessons, in fact, after 3 or 4 years. And therapy is very important. Okay. I know a lot of them just speak to their friends, or they would speak to their colleagues, or maybe, but I think if you speak to an actual therapist who is trained, that person really helps you to come out. Because my therapist did that, and it didn't take her very long, because I had made up my mind that I want to be a survivor. I don't want to be a victim of what has happened. Because being a victim is not that easy, but being a survivor is also not easy. So I think that mentally more than physical, I had a lot of mental stress. It was traumatic, it was painful. And because of my therapy lessons, because of the sessions that I had with my therapist, Dr. Tanuja Prem, she really helped me to come out of this. She spoke to me as a friend. And today, in whatever I am, I give a little credit to her as well, because even today, like, she messaged me in the morning, all the best, I'm really proud of you. So these little gestures really make a lot of difference. And she knew my state of mind, because she knew how I broke down at for anything and everything. In fact, my friends did make fun of me, because I used to cry for anything. Like, if there's a party going on, I used to go in the bedroom and I used to cry. But it was difficult for me to explain it to somebody why I'm crying, because I felt that I would either be judged or somebody will not understand me. So I had, and then yes, I got very moody, and I used to snap back at people, and my behavior was really getting bad. And I started realizing this on my own, that what is happening to me. Like, no, look, I don't want I don't want this to happen to me, and I have to stop somewhere. See, your life is in your hands, you have the control of it. And you can decide what you want. Like I keep saying, you have to choose, because the power of choice is very important in your life. And what you choose, you have to stand by it. And since I made this choice of getting divorced and staying alone, I wanted to face it and embrace the loneliness as well. And I wanted to, stand by my decision. And I think that's very important, because sometimes we do take decisions, and after some time we fall weak, and we go back to the same thing. So I didn't want to do that. So my I made sure that I take care of my mental health, because I started realizing that it is very important as your physical health. I ignored it for a very long time. Okay, I didn't pay attention to how I was feeling, or my thoughts, or what I was doing, and how bad I was treating my own probably family and friends. And when I started seeing that I am hurting them for no reason, it is not their fault, they have not done anything to me. So that is when I realized, it's like a self realization. I think self realization is very important, because that is when, no matter how much people tell you, or no matter how much advices people are going to give you, you're not going to listen. And that is a human nature. It is
Yeah.
for everything. When I tell you, look, Ritika, don't do that, it's going to destroy you, you'll be like, hey, this one is joking. I mean, I'm not going to take her seriously. When you actually fall on your face, that is when you realize that, okay, I have to do something about it. And that's what happened with me as well. And I took control of my life, and I said, like, no, nothing doing. I have to change the way I am. Okay. It's not that change the way I am. What I mean is that, I wanted to get myself back, because it was not me. It was not me for all this while. It was, I don't know who that person was, but I just wanted to be myself. And I worked very hard on it. I started reading a lot of books. I started taking therapy lessons. I'm even taking I'm in fact coaching right now. I mean, I'm taking lessons for coaching at the moment. So I'm working very hard, you know to improve myself, so that I can be a better person. And this is not for anybody else. I'm doing this for myself, because I think that is what makes me happy. And that is what I really want to do.
Wow, that's really nice. My another question to you is, why do you think we stay in a toxic relationship or failed marriage? Why would we keep on sustaining on it every time?
According to many of us, we think that it is called love. We stay in a toxic relationship in the name of love. We think that we are in love with that person, and we think this is love. But we live in denial. Most of our times we are living in denial, and we are not ready to accept that, okay, this has happened to us. This is this is what is the truth. But we still want to live in denial. We don't want to accept, like I said in the beginning, acceptance. We don't want to accept that, maybe I made a mistake, or my decision was not right, or I'm not happy, or whatever. We continue
Maybe
living
we
in that.
keep answering
We
to
fear.
ourselves the marriage too. Maybe things will get better. I think that is also.
Yes, of course. I mean, I'm not saying that, at the first red flag only, you should just get up and say, no, I want a divorce. It doesn't work that way. It's not that easy. So, yes. So, like I said, about staying in a relationship, we do not accept. And I think the moment we accept, like, this is not for us. And divorce is not about not understanding people. I think divorce is finally when you have understood the other person.
Yes.
Like, okay, now I know what this person is all about, or uh, now I'm getting to know the actual side. See, I'm not blaming anyone here, or I'm not I don't mean to demean anyone, but all what I'm trying to say is that people stay in marriages, or even in relationship, I think because they term it as love. They think it is love. So that is why they say no. It's very easy to just pick up the phone and say I love you to someone, but I think staying in love is something which is really difficult. You can say I love you to maybe so many people, but staying in love is very, very it's not easy. I'll not say it's difficult, but it's not easy. Over a period of time, you either get bored, or you tend to cheat, or there are a lot of things which I don't want to bring it out here because it's going to get really ugly. But uh, the moment I think my answer to everything is going to be acceptance. Because really, Radhika, the moment you accept that this has happened to me, or this is not what I want. Because see, like you said, human make mistakes, okay, and there could be a possibility that you have made a mistake in choosing your life partner. That does not mean you have to live by it. You can get out of it, you can move out of your marriage, okay, you can start new. Divorce does not have to necessarily mean only damages, okay. It can also be a better uh, like like it can also be beautiful, I can say. That is the only word what is coming to my mind. So obviously the process is not easy. It is stressful, it is painful, it is traumatic. But when you go through the process, okay, and when you come on the other side, you're only going to be happy. And I think that is what we all need to understand, that your happiness, okay, only matters. What makes you happy? Like, I have been questioned this many times. Sometimes I get stuck answering my own question, what makes you happy. In fact, I would like to tell all the listeners here that write 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 it down, at least this one point. And what is that thing that makes you happy, and what you're unable to do it, what is it that is stopping you, and why it is stopping you. Think about it. And you can start journaling things, because journaling is very important. You can journal your thoughts. You can, when you're angry, when you're happy, when you're sad, everything, just write it down. You don't have to write it down on a book, and on a book. You can even use it on your phone. And when time goes by, read through it, you will understand your own thoughts, you will understand what you're feeling. And you will understand that okay, this was my thought initially, and this is what is happening now. So even I started journaling the moment I thought that I might need to come out of this marriage. And I did it for a very long time. So obviously now when I read that, I can understand why that has happened and what led me through that particular thing.
Right. So I want to know, when was that breaking point in your life when you finally accepted, when you finally accepted that you are in denial, and when you chose to initiate a divorce? What made you come to that point that I don't want this anymore? What was that point? When did that happen? How did that happen?
Uh, I think, Ridhika, this is one of the most difficult and difficult question which I'm going to answer.
I feel
Because
they feel stuck at this stage. That what is that breaking point where you should feel that this is it, this is it, you know. And
so for me, okay, so for me, what exactly happened is that I got emotionally detached. Okay, I didn't feel any emotions in my marriage. I didn't feel any emotion towards the relationship, and I was just detached, completely detached. I just could not feel anything. I was not myself. Like I keep saying that I don't know who I had even become that time. I used to not love myself. I didn't know my self worth. I didn't know what I was worthy about. And I started questioning my existence in the relationship. I was like, why am I even here? Like, see, when it takes two people to make a relationship, right? So when you start questioning your existence in that particular relationship, is when I feel is the biggest what I can say, like a red flag. It is, you have to, obviously, we all ignore red flags, right? As humans, we think like, no, let it be, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. And it reaches to a point where we can't take it. At that time, we think that oh, he or she has been doing this from the beginning, so why didn't I take that decision that time? But obviously we want to give it another chance and another chance and another chance and another chance. And also for the sake of your family, also for the sake of the society fear, you're scared like what will people say, or what is my family going to stand by, or are they people going to support me? So I think all that was running in my head. So it took me basically 2 or 3 years for me to take this decision. Mentally, I was already divorced, maybe long back. I don't know when, but it was long back. Mentally, I felt that, I am already single. And that started playing on my mind for a very long time. Then I took my parents into I told my mother about this. And obviously this initially, nobody, no family is going to go and tell their daughter, okay, go ahead and take a divorce. Every,
Absolutely.
they will definitely say that why, uh, why don't you try again, why don't you have a child, why don't you go on a holiday. I don't think that you need a child to save your marriage. The child is not even born. Why are you giving the responsibility to an unborn child to save your marriage? I don't think that's fair.
Very well said.
So it is, it's I don't understand that idea of when people say that, I think you should try for a baby. I mean, why, what would the baby do? Like, it is the husband and the wife, and I think the husband and the wife, it is their responsibility to sort out their differences. You don't bring a third person when you're not sure of your own lives. So
Absolutely.
yes, so I started receiving like these kind of advices. And also where I was not like, for example, I was also told, why don't you go on a holiday, or why don't you take a break? Or okay, fine, I did that. I went on a break, I came back, I things are still the same. I was still feeling that, I was not feeling good about it. I still questioned my existence. I kept saying like, why is this happening to me? Why am I here? I don't think I need this. I think I can do better. And if you start feeling those things, you don't really need a partner, right? You can do all those things. Or you don't, when you have someone, I don't think you should be even feeling these kind of feelings in the first place. You should be feeling good, and your partner should be making you feel good about yourself. So when I started to realize that all these things are not happening, when I started to realize that I am still miserable, then I decided for myself. I take complete ownership of my divorce, because it was my choice which I made. I opted out for the marriage, and I said that I don't want it. So I thought it is better to be what you say, single and happy than to be married and miserable.
Right.
So it was my choice, and I think I did a good choice.
Absolutely. My next question to you is right now, is divorce a taboo?
Um, I think in many places in India, okay, it is still a taboo, because people fear, they fear of what the society is going to say. Like there's a very famous Hindi saying like "log kya kahenge." So what are people going to say? What is this one going to think, or what is that one going to think? I really want to ask everybody, that one or this one or that society is going to help you when you are in a miserable condition, or when you are in in a unhappy marriage. I don't think so. Nobody comes. They will say a family problem hai, or this is their own
Rightly
shit
said.
that they have to deal with, and let them. So why do we have to think about I'm not saying about the family, but yes, about the society or other people, and I think it is also a taboo because people are not really ready to accept, like, especially the older generation still lives in
Yes.
they still live in denial. In fact, they are called silent divorces. You know that, Riddhika? I know so many people personally who are
Yes.
in silent divorces, and this concept, in fact, I just came up with it when I was preparing for the show. There are so many couples who will live in a marriage, okay, and also not live in a marriage. So I
Yes.
hope you understand what I'm trying to say.
And
They are called
yes.
silent divorces, and everybody goes through a divorce. It is your family, your children, and they will also suffer when you are going through it. They will also be in pain. And coming back to the older generation, recently I had a conversation with somebody, I would not like to take the name, but that person is, say, 50 plus. Okay, so I asked that person, so why are you even in this marriage? If you are not happy, I think you should have left that person long back.
Yeah.
So this person turns around and saying that, what would I have done? Where I would have gone? I have children. I didn't have money at that time, and so I was shocked with this answer. I was literally shocked, and I only had a lot of sympathy to give towards that person, because it was really bad to see somebody in this condition, because they don't have an option. Some of them just live by, they live by in that marriage, whether you're happy or not happy. They are just living in that marriage, and they are called silent divorces. Like, people, actually, some people even make fun of it. I don't think it's something which you should make fun about, because when you actually get divorced, it is quite traumatic. There are couples who are just living in marriages for the sake of it. Either the husband is with someone else, or the wife is with someone else, and they come home and they are together. I don't understand this concept. I don't understand why such marriages even exist. When you are not happy, and when you do not want to be in that marriage, and for the fact that this is what you want, then I think you should have the courage and the strength to go ahead and take that decision, because it is going to make you, it is going to shape your life. And trust me, divorce is not the end of the world. It is just a new beginning. It is an end of one chapter. It is not the end of your life. And it is a real bad end though. But when you rise again, you rise like never before, and you feel really powerful, and you have all the strength, whatever you have lost.
My question to you next is, Rosie, what is the best advice you can give to anyone who's getting divorced or contemplating one? What would you like to tell?
I think the best advice I can give everyone is that you have to learn to forgive. Forgive your partner, and very importantly, you have to forgive yourself. Because if you keep blaming yourself for what has happened, you're never going to reach there. You're never going to be in a better place, because you'll keep blaming yourself. You'll keep living in that guilt. Oh, what it happened because of me, and I'm a miserable person. I'm not worthy of love. I am not worthy of I'm not worthy of any kind of relationship. So the biggest tip I can give that is, forgive, let time heal you, let things unfold in its own time. Do not rush for anything, because if you rush, then obviously you are going ahead of the time which universe has actually planned for you. So you
Yes.
have to trust the universe here, and just trust the universe. And when things unfold in its own time, you will be amazed that this is what you have in store.
Wow. I remember in one of our conversation you did mention you started blogging during your most lowest phase in life. If I'm right, I would want to know more about this. Tell us something more about your blog, which is Being Beautiful. How did it happen, and what it is for you? What does it mean to you?
I'm always excited whenever anybody asks me about my blog, because that is something which is very, very special to me. Basically, this blog started as one of my therapy, experiments or therapy exercises. Like I mentioned before, when I was taking therapy classes with Dr. Tanuja, she asked me once, like, what do you want to do? What is that one thing which is going to make you happy? Or what is that one thing which is going to keep you busy? So I said, I think I can write. Maybe I've been writing, but I never published it or I didn't put it anywhere. So it started as one of my therapy exercises, and today it's something what I absolutely love doing. I love it so much. I'm very sensitive about it. And I whatever I post is completely raw. Okay, it may be not perfect, but it is all real. I don't believe in posting perfect pictures or posting perfect content, which there might be some grammatical errors, some unedited thing, but yes, I know that that is real. And it is also about my mental health journey. Whatever I have gone through, my experiences, I think that I can reach out to people where I am trying to build a community. I aspire to build, in fact, I aspire to become a life coach. I've already started training on that. Okay, my sessions have already started. So I have given myself, like, 1 year's time where I'm only going to learn. So I aspire to become a life coach where I want to inspire to help people grow. I think your show's theme is that, which is
Yes.
absolutely connected to what I'm doing. And even if I touch one person's life, I think it is going to be an achievement. And I think I almost did that, because there is one particular person, obviously I can't take the name, who shares a lot with me, who has written one of my blogs, one of the stories for this blog, and I'm really touched. Because see, I know a lot of people don't like to read, and people don't get time because this is a very fast world. But I still write. I still write for my satisfaction, because it keeps me happy, and it keeps me going. And I think that is also what got me here. So I should really thank you also, Ridhika, for calling me on your show. And if anybody wants to check my blog, I am on Instagram and also on Facebook. It is being_beautiful11, and I operate from Facebook
So
and Instagram both.
yes, we'll be sharing it on the group so that you can follow Rosie's blog and you can see whatever she's written, whatever work she's up to. We have a motivational speaker coming up very soon. I'm sure Rosie will be back as a life coach with Aspire, Inspire, Grow. So we'll be sharing all the details with the blog. But I'm so glad, Rosie, that you came on our show and you can speak to us and you took us through this beautiful journey with you, of the acceptance, about the denial, about the strength, about not giving up and not looking back. What a beautiful and commendable journey you took us with you. Can we see some live questions if any of them have any questions? Can we have a look if anyone has a question? What would you, so DJ Guru Te has said, what would you advise people to like, avoid divorce and still live together within acceptable comfort?
What would you advise people to like, avoid divorce, and still live together with acceptable comfort? Okay, so like I said, firstly, hi DJ Gurugate. See, it is your choice, okay? And for example, if you make a choice that you want to go ahead with that relationship, and you have certain kind of a comfort, or you are receiving some kind of response from your partner, then it is completely your choice to go ahead and give your marriage another chance with that comfort. And if that makes you happy, then you can go ahead and do it.
Yes. I hope that answers your question.
So what is the next? I
It-
hope I answered your question.
yeah, we have a next question from Shannon. How to deal situation when you're single parent and your parents are also in a loop? How to support you, and at the same time you are all alone for taking this big decision to get separate.
How to deal, how,
Yeah,
I'm just rereading the question. How to deal situation when you're a single parent and your parents are also in a loop, how to support you, and at the same time you're all alone for taking this big decision to get separate. Okay. Hi, Shannon. This is a very nice question that you asked me. I think it's important to take your parents into confidence. You need to convince them, okay, for your decision, and you need to, explain it to them why you're doing this. And you can also tell them, I'm sure if they are, I'm not saying if, but they do love you, and they do know that you are their particular child. They will support you. Initially it is going to be difficult, there might be a lot of fighting, a lot of arguments, a lot of denial. But the moment they accept, like I said, the moment they accept that that this is what you want, and this is what you're going to also you're going to stand by. Firstly, before even convincing your parents, you have to be convinced. Okay,
yeah,
you have to make up your mind. You have to make up your mind that this is what you want. And if your parents are not supporting you, then you make the choice, and be confident enough and strong enough to stand by it. And eventually they will. I don't think any parent will leave their child or leave their daughter or son in a miserable condition.
absolutely.
I hope that
We
answers your question.
I hope it does. We have two interesting questions for you, Rosie. Desmond is asking, what are your
Yeah.
thoughts on marriage? Let's take this one first.
Hi, Desmond. By the way, he's my brother who has always been very supportive. So, okay. So he
Round
wants
of
to know what are my thoughts. Yes,
say
I
to
think he needs
Desmond
a
that
round of applause.
thank you,
Being my
thank
biggest
you so
support
much
system.
for standing by Rosie. It's commendable. I have always heard from her about you, be it your podcast. She's full of you, and thank you so much for supporting her, for being that strength in her life. Really appreciate it. Yes, going back.
Okay, so coming back to his questions, my thoughts on marriage right now, I still believe in the institution of marriage. I think marriage is something very sacred, and and if you think that this is the one for you, I think then yes, you should go for it. And if he's personally asking me, yes, I am ready to get married, and if he has any boy for me, he can just forward the details to me.
Oh, we have an interesting question for you there coming from Sudhitri. Have you begun dating or been in romantic relationship post your divorce?
Hi, Sudhiti. Okay. Yes, I have been. I was in a relationship after my divorce, but it didn't last for very long. And obviously, at that time, I was in the process of healing. So, things were not that easy, because when you are going once post your divorce, it's not, I'm not saying you shouldn't date, but I think you should allow yourself time. You should allow yourself time to heal. You should love yourself enough for another person to come into your life. And I lacked all of those things when I was in a relationship post my divorce. And I think now I have learned that. I have learned it hard way though, but yes, I think I'm in a better position now.
Great. So, Siddhitri is saying thank you for being so brave, Bonita. Yes, absolutely. It's showing
Thank
the
you so much.
strength.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aditi, for your lovely questions. In fact, all of our listeners, thank you so much for being there and supporting us for this cause and asking such wonderful questions. Um, okay, we have something, not a question, but all I want to say, Rosie, is that I was always smiles watching you and you answering everything so happily. So yeah, and the good part is that you are always smiling when you are answering your questions, and I cannot forget the smile when you spoke about being beautiful on the blog. I think that was the brightest smile on
Yes,
your
I am. I'm
entire
really happy.
conversation. I didn't see you that with that spark, with that
Uh,
in your eyes. It absolutely shows that you absolutely love what you do. You're passionate about it, and I think that is really important for women to find your passion and to stick to it.
yeah. Hi, KL. Thank you so much for your words. I don't know who you are, but I love you too.
Okay. So, Bonda, anything else you would want to share us or end this call on a wonderful note? Anything, any thought, any quote, anything that could,
Yes, I think I would advise everyone to really do what makes you happy. Don't do what makes the other person happy. Okay, because your happiness really matters a lot. Start loving yourself if you still don't, because in the end of this life you are the only person who you're going to live with forever, and forever is with yourself. Okay, so I think people need to know that. And yeah, these are the two things I would like to say. And thank you everyone for your lovely comments, for your support, and whatever love I have been receiving before this show, even whenever I was posting. And even to you, Ritika, thank you so much.
it's a pleasure having you on our show, Rosie. It's a pleasure. Okay, guys, that was it for today. We had a lovely time with Rosie. Thank you all for being a part of Aspire, Inspire, Grow. We'll be seeing again tomorrow. Tomorrow, we have a speaker, Mayurika, who is a psychologist who will be talking about importance of self-esteem in a relationship for women. So please do join. Keep your questions ready, whatever that is. We'll try and take as many questions as we can, and have a good night, and I shall see you all tomorrow. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.